Do you guys know how they got? Have you ever heard the story of how they got signed? Has anyone ever told you that? Can you tell them how you guys met Randy?
Yeah. It's funny because we're the only band that we know of that gets asked to talk about our manager, but he is a judge on American Idol. So, but I will share that. What happened was it was just a random moment. We had just did the showcase for Capitol Records the night before, and so we were buzzing. I mean, we didn't know if they're going to sign us or not sign us. You know, you have all this anticipation of it's going down. Ronnie Jerkins, a.k.a. Darkchild, showed up. Gary Spivak, Dylan Williams, all these people came to SRR Studios to hear us. So the next day we're buzzing, and one of our buddies had flown in on cheaptickets.com, and he got to stay at the Majoran Hotel, which is on the Sunset Strip. Cheapest room is $400 a night, and he stayed there for $127, which is cheaper than the Days Inn that we were staying at. So we went and ate lunch with him on this cool like patio overlooking LA's valley, and it looked like they hired models in bikinis to sit at the pool. It was nothing like we had in the South. It was really dope. So when we get to leave and walk out, there's Randy Jackson wearing this big black brim high top like hat, like top hat. He had on a big huge chain, a big silver medallion, a white t-shirt, huge watch, like Carrera sunglasses. He didn't look like he was on the show, but I knew it was him, and Matt did too. And so he was sitting across from this really pretty lady and talking, and we walked out. And we're like, wait a minute. You know, that was Randy Jackson. I was like, yeah, but... And then the light bulb clicked on. I saw him play bass. I didn't know anything about him, but I saw him play bass guitar on a Grammy Award show for Mariah Carey. So that intrigued me to go back in. And so I went up to this Valley guy who was getting people their cars. He tore me off a sheet of paper. I wrote down our MySpace where our music was, name and number, walked back in and said, yo, are you Randy Jackson? And he's like, yes, I am. I'm like, cool. And I saw him put their feet over and slam down the paper and just stare at him. And wait, and then he just kind of like, he's sitting across from his car, he's just like, dude, what's going on? I said, I don't know, you tell me, coach. Here I am in the music business, eating, we're talking with my colleagues, doing lunch. You're in the music business, you're obviously eating, talking with your colleague, doing lunch. And I just did a showcase last night for Capitol Records over at SSR Studio. Jason Flom is the president. I just got through recording tons of demo of Brian Westnelly for Tyler's producer. I had Gary Spivak, Daryl Williams there. Daryl Williams, yeah, had Daryl Williams there. Had Ronnie Jerkins there. I started spitting. I said, I don't know, why are we here, Randy? You probably know more than I do. You tell me, what are we doing here, coach? And then he just starts laughing at me, and he looks at her and says, yo, he's getting his grind on. Dog, I like that. Gives me a little pound. And we just rapped for a few minutes, and he said, hey, if the music's good, I'll call you back. And I was like, cool, there's my MySpace. And we leave. 2 hours later, homeboy had called me back. He said, Owlsville North, Randy Jackson. Boop, speakerphone. Randy, what's up, baby? He's like, Get Higher's my song, dog. Get Higher's my song. And he said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, coach, I'm the first one in the gym, last one to leave. You tell me, I'll be there. He's like, good, come over to Henson Studios. Do you know where that is? Brian kicks me in the side. Yes, you know where that is. Yep, I know exactly where that is. And so we meet him there the next day. He sits us down. We're at the freaking Jen Henson lot, the old A&M Records, Charlie Chapman Theater. And we sit down for 3 hours. He tells us every story. I mean, I didn't know that he was a session musician for Bob Dylan, Herbie Hancock, Bruce. He just went on and on, how his whole career started. He went to school, he went to LSU on a scholarship as a linebacker. He got injured in his knee, and his music never died. And so him and his brother, I didn't know his brother was a huge jazz drummer in the world, very famous guy. And he just starts telling us everything, how he was in Journey, and he starts talking to us, what do you want to be, what do you want to do? Well, all of my buddies were all here, and we're thinking about being a band, but we're not sure yet. We're just trying to see. He's like, oh, you got to be a band. Let me meet the band. Where's the rest of the guys? Let's go. I said, yeah. So we're in Silver Lake. The next day, this dude shows up and said, we're in the hood. He shows up in an $800,000 Mercedes with a chauffeur and steps out, and there's Randy Jackson right there in the middle of all the kids. Awesome. And it kind of just started. This is the first time he actually heard me sing and heard all of us sing or play anything acoustically for him. And then 2 months go by, and I finally just call him back because we're meeting him every other day. He's taking us all to eat. It's a different world. I don't know if you guys ever been to Ketchup in LA. You honestly feel like you're in the epitome of Hollywood. It's a restaurant. Anyways, he's doing all this cool stuff, and I was like, man, what do you want to do, man? I'm just saying, I've been reading you now online. You're like a genius. You can call hits. What do you want from us? He's like, I think I should manage you. I was like, I think you should too. And so he became our manager. He's been managing us for 3 years. So it's actually because of him that we got to go to Anamoctone and get seen in 2 showcases, actually 3 showcases, and finally get to see the whole label and where we got to sign. So he did a lot of cool stuff for the band, got our music in front of Rick Rubin, and it was at the end of the day, even with Jeff Aroff at Shangri-La, it was choosing the right label. And Am I saying it right? Azoff? Or
No, you said it correctly.
Okay, cool. All right, anyways, but it's the cool thing. We got the right home. James and Ben and David.
Well, those are our
Bulldogs.
founders. So it's funny that Randy was their manager because our founders started at Columbia, and they knew Randy before he was famous, when he was like an A&R guy and when he worked with Mariah Carey. So after, they always kept in touch, and he said, I saw what you guys did with Maroon 5, and when I find the right band for you, I'm going to bring you that band that needs that artist development, that can use what you guys do. And so then he brought us this band, and we signed them very shortly. In our world, shortly thereafter, but not shortly in your world.
It took a long time in our world. Anyways, I'd rather do this than cook chicken, so this is cool.
Yeah.